Okay, Shalom once again. We're going to go to Micah, the 4th chapter and the 10th verse. I'm going to start out with Colossians 3:17 as always. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So all that we said do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior Mashiach Yahushua. And we give thanks to the Most High for everything. He will be praised for everything. Hallelujah to His glorious and holy name. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. In the name of the anointed Savior. So Micah 4:10 says, be in pain. Say, be in pain. And labor to bring forth. Labor to bring forth. O daughter of Zion. O 12 tribes of Israel. Like a woman in travail. So, it's like a woman in travail. Like a woman having her contractions when she have a baby. That's how it's going to be. And that's how it is. You get to the kingdom that's prepared for us already. But now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. We in Babylon. Say we're going to even go to Babylon, America. There shall thou be delivered. Hear that? Here shall we be delivered. Right here in America. There the Most High shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. You see, it goes clear with Deuteronomy 28:68, which says, and the Most High shall bring into Egypt, which means captivity, slavery, and bondage. Exodus 20:2. Again, another time with ships. What people came into captivity, slavery, and bondage on slave ships, if it's not us. By the way, where I speaking to these, the place Moses was speaking to us, thou shalt see it no more again. We haven't seen our homeland of Israel again. And there we go into these places that these slave ships going to bring us to. We going to say you're going to be sold into your enemies. Not to your friends, but into your enemies. For bondmen, slave men, and slave women, bond women. And no man shall redeem you. No man shall save you. No man shall buy you, it says. So that means to save or redeem us from the condition that we put ourselves in by not following the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why we're in the condition we're in right now. It says, and now, also, many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. So let her be defiled. So let our eyes look upon Zion. So that's why you see a lot of things that, especially in our food, that are defiled. We're not supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, oysters, and all the things of such. And a man not supposed to be with a man, woman not supposed to be with a woman, having intercourse with each other. These things are being put upon us, and the majority of our people are accepting these things. On and on and on. Of all the sins that the Most High say we're not supposed to do in breaking His laws. Sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws. So when you look at, once again, it says in Micah 4:11, now also many nations are gathered against thee. See, when you read Psalms 83rd chapter, all these nations are confederate against the children of Israel. They take the name of Israel out of existence. That say, let her be defiled. You see? Let us be defiled and let our eye look upon Zion. So who's this Zion? Go to Isaiah, hold that, Isaiah 51:16. And I have put my words in thy mouth. Isaiah 51:16. Define who this Zion is. And I have covered thee in the shadow of mine hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. Right? So just because you can't call on the name of the Lord, or Baal, that's what that means. They got you saying that. But who's the Most High's people? He said, my people. Who's this people? Let's find out. One scripture is Exodus 3 and 10. And this is how you get the understanding of what this Bible is talking about through precepts. Now it said, Zion, who is my people, right? My people Zion, right? Who's my people? Exodus 3 and 10. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people. Who are they? The children of Israel out of Egypt. See? So, the my people is children of Israel. So now, when you see Zion, majority of the time it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Or it could be talking about the land. Majority of the time it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. See, that makes sense. Micah 4:11. Now also, my many nations are gathered against thee. Because the Most High said He's going to redeem us out of the hand of our enemies. He's letting us know many nations are gathered against us, the 12 tribes of Israel, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. Yeah, let us be defiled. And we don't mind being defiled. You know, we like to hear lies. Majority of us, 2/3 of us. But they know not the thoughts of the Most High. You see that? They know not the thoughts of the Most High. Neither understand they His counsel. You see? They got their own counsel. But the Most High said, when you say His counsel come to naught, to nothing. Earlier, He said, for He shall gather them as the sheaves in the floor. But you see what it say? But they know not the thoughts of the Most High. But see, our people going to follow someone that the scriptures clearly tell you, let them tell you that they know not the thoughts of the Most High. You understand? His counsel. This counsel was from this word. They don't understand it. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, right to the point. Without a shadow of a doubt. Look what they're going to say. This is when salvation coming on this earth. This is what our enemies going to be saying. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Wickedness and destruction. You see all the wickedness that's being done. I just named a few. The wars, you know, destroying everything. They got nuclear destruction that's coming, that they building continually. They wearied themselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushai, we have not known it. You see? That's what he's saying. Micah 4 and 12, you see how they all go together? But they know not the thoughts of the Most High. As for the way of the Most High, we have not known it. Micah 4:12, but they know not the thoughts of a Mashiach Yahushai. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. But as for the way of a Mashiach Yahushai, we have not known it. Neither understand they his counsel. Job 24 and 13. Job 24 and 13. That's why you can follow those that don't know the Most High if you want to. A lot of you just follow your own way. Look, Job 24:13. They are those that rebel against the light. Rebel against the light. What's the light? Proverbs 6:23. The law is the light. They rebel against the law of the Most High. That's why most of them saying we not under the law. But we under grace. And they're not Israelites. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. You hear that? They are of those that rebel against the light. They are those that rebel against the light, which is the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. The law is the light. That's coming from the Most High. 613 laws, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws. We're not under those no more. Our bodies have to be a living sacrifice. They are those that rebel against the light. They rebel against the law. Aren't they saying? You know, we got everybody regurgitating, we not under the law. Don't know what you even saying. They know not the ways thereof. Mashiach said, I am the way. They don't know it. Remember, it says the way of the Most High, the way of Mashiach. We have not known it. They know not the ways thereof. See? Nor abide in the paths thereof. That's the way. That's why in the end, salvation is coming on this earth, righteousness coming on the earth, they're going to say, we have not, as for the way of the Most High and of Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. There it is. Second Ezra, the 3rd chapter. Second Ezra, the 3rd chapter, and verse 32. Or is there any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel? What you said? Is there any other people that know the Most High beside Israel? We the 12 tribes of Israel? And I must say the 12 tribes of Israel because a lot of y'all might think of this is talking to the Jewish people. ISH is something pertaining to being like the real Israelite or Jew. It's not talking to them, it's talking to us. Or is there any other people, like I just gave you Deuteronomy 28:68? That happened to us, not no one else. Or is there any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel? Or what generation have so believed thy covenant as Jacob? The covenant was given to who? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, to the Israel, to the 12 tribes of Israel, forever and ever and ever. And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments, because they say you ain't under the law of the Most High. They don't think of the Most High's commandments. You ain't got to follow the commandments, but they flowing in wealth, Ezra's saying. See, I've gone through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance. So weigh what we've done as the Israelites in wickedness in the balance, right? Compare it, he said. And theirs also that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. But we through the Israelites. Or when was it that they, these other nations which dwell upon the earth, have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Answer the question. You answer that question, since you are say that your religion is true. What people, he's saying, have so kept the Most High's commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel by name, have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. See? That's what you see. That's what I'm doing, precepting. Going here and there to show you what it is that we need to know and dealing with understanding what this Bible is talking about. And if you miss it, go back and go over it again. Micah 4:11. Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. We defiled, man. If you don't really pay attention to how they have a diabolical plan to keep you defiled, and have you follow them to hell, then you're going to hell with them, the wicked. But they know not the thoughts of the Most High. Hear that? They don't know the thoughts of the Most High. We just read it from when righteousness is coming on this earth, salvation is coming on this earth. They're going to say, as the way of the Most High and the Mashiach, we have not known it. Neither understand they his counsel. That's why this isn't for no one but the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, if you are of another nation, then you can listen and learn, because this is what you're going to get. When the Mashiach Shai come back to teach us of the Most High. You better know this little. And you Israelites that think you ready to go to the kingdom, you better know something. Like you say, you get to understand through the precepts. But they know not the thoughts of the Most High, neither understand they his counsel. For they shall gather them as the sheaves in the floor. Arise and dress, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron. Hear that? He said, you're going to make our horn, our power, iron. And I will make thy hooves brass. So under our feet going to be brass. And thou shalt beat in pieces many people. Future prophecy. And I will consecrate their grain unto the Most High, and their substance unto the Most High power of the whole earth. Understand, overstand. Sound good to me. So, we seen footage that showed, a lot of things that's going to go down on this earth as far as the destruction that's going to happen. And our people have to really prepare yourself for what it is that's going to go down, so that you're not, caught in the midst of it. But you have those that, it only take, like I say, boop, something happened, then poof. Like I said, the truth is a revolving door. People come in and they go out. But some people never really been in the truth. Even though they claim to be in the truth is keeping of the Most High's laws. They claim to be in the truth, but they don't really have that foundation for sure. That's why it's easy for them something to happen to, they're gone. And they'll blame, when the judgment comes, they're going to blame someone or something, some action that happened on why they're going to be thrown in hell. Don't let it be you. Like I said, I've seen many people come and go. So that's why I don't really get off into people that come and call themselves being in the truth and they really not. Because you're actually going to prove if you are or not. Believe that. You're going to spend some time with the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, and you're going to talk about them. You have nothing to say about them, then how you about them? How you really about them? You about what you speak on. You better think on those things. Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Most High power are upon. The Most High's eyes are upon the sinful kingdom. See, his eyes are upon the sinful kingdom. That's America. I mean, you think about whatever you want to think about, don't want to think about. Some things they say, most of say we even supposed to be thinking about. It's so wicked. He said his eyes are upon the sinful kingdom. I mean, look at commercials. You gotta all the time put your hand, change the commercial, or you looking at a movie. That's it. You gotta cover the eye. Tell the children, close your eyes, close your eyes. All the abominations that they be showing in these movies and so forth, all the time. Behold, the eyes of the Most High power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Most High. Utterly destroy the house of Jacob. 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel are going to be redeemed. But lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. We scattered among all nations. Why you got to do that? Because Deuteronomy, one of the scriptures, Deuteronomy 28:64. Deuteronomy 28:64. He got to sift us from among the nations, right? Because he told us since verse, let's go to 15 so you understand why we're in the condition we're in. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right? So from verse 16 all the way to 68 are the curses that be filled. We as a people, the 12 tribes of Israel. Bring forth any other nation that can go through these curses and say it applies to them, if thou canst. Now verse 64 says what? Deuteronomy 28:64, and the Most High shall gather thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. When we go into these other nations, lands, we're going to serve other gods or idols. Because remember it says in Psalms 96:5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. He said we're going to scatter us among these people, and we're going to serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. You see? Even wood and stone. Which are these different religions. And that's why you tell me a religion, I'm going to say it over again and over again until you respond. All you that go to these churches that are involved in these religions, which one of your religions keep the Most High's moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws? Those we can keep now. Which one of your religions are doing it? And if not, then you're not following the Most High. That's why he said for us, we the children of Israel, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. We scattered among all nations for breaking the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, his rules and regulations. Y'all know about that. Like as corn is sifted in the sea, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. That's why as we go into this, we got to look at it. He said the least grain fall upon the earth. When it's talking about, and it's talking to people that know, you know what I mean? We've been disenfranchised, like we've been disenfranchised from our heritage, knowing who we are. To now I got 105 different identities of who we are as a race. That's lost me. Zechariah 13, where he said the least grain shall not fall upon the earth. Let's look at it. Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. That's what he's talking about. 2 parts there are going to be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. That's what we're talking about. The least part shall not fall upon the earth. 2 parts, that's 2/3 of our people going to be flatlined. You're going to kill them. Listen. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. We read in Exodus 3:10, the Israelites. And they shall say, the Most High is my power. You see. But only 1/3 is going to make it. He said, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. So when you look at Amos 9:9, below, I will command, as we scattered among all these nations, he said, Most High going to give a command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Since we scattered among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sea, yet shall not the least grain, that's the 1/3 we just read about, fall upon the earth. The rest are going to be left on the earth, be incinerated. Listen what he say. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. We didn't draw evil to them because they're not following the laws of the Most High. They done found another way to deal with whatever they need to deal with, and the Most High gonna burn them up, point blank. You only got 2 choices. 1 choice really, but he gave you 2 choices to choose from, and that's life or death. Most people done chose death because they're gonna look at whatever they can look at to make their world be satisfactory to them. And it's terrible. But it's real, y'all. It's real as real can be. So, I want to make sure that we understand a few things before I go into the destruction that's coming upon this earth. Amos 5:18. Amos 5:18. Because you don't have the right attitude, the right spirit, Most High say this to you. Woe means destruction unto you that desire the day of the Most High. He's screaming at you. To what end is it for you? People say, I can't wait till the Most High bring the kingdom back into this earth. He said, woe unto you that desire the day of the Most High. To what end is it for you? You got to hear what he's saying. The day of the Most High is darkness and not light. Darkness. You can see no sun, no moon for all the destruction that's going to go down. Is y'all seen in the film footage that I showed you before I did this lesson? The day of the Most High is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion, you running from a roaring lion ready to kill you, and a bear met him. A bear meets you. Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. You running from the lion, you run into the bear, you get away from the bear, you go into the house, lean your hand on the wall and the poisonous snake bites you. Shall not the day of the Most High be darkness, like we just read, and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? He let you know ain't no brightness in it. Darkness. Y'all ready for this? When people think, okay, well, I could do what I want to do, how I want to do it. I don't think so. I don't think so. He already laid it out. You know, he laid it out, and people still want to do it their way, or you're listening to somebody that don't know nothing as they should know. It starts with your own mind, your own vain opinion. Look what my Shai said. I don't think people realize the power that we have as Israelites. Like he said, all the people, all the sinners of his people are going to die by the sword. That say the evil shall not prevail or prevent us. Well, you done drawn that evil to you. Let's look at Mashiach Shai telling us something in Luke 23rd chapter, the 27th verse. And there followed him a great company of people as he's going to be crucified. And of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. They crying over him. The women is crying. But the Master said, turning unto them said, daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. All you women that have children, say, weep for yourselves and weep for your children. For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bear, the women that never bear a child, and the paps which never gave suck. They didn't have any children. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. If they do these things in a green tree, what shall they do in the dry? Say, if they do these things in a green tree to him, the Son of the Most High, say, what do they do to those that don't have this truth? That's going another way, that's trying to find a way. If this world, to continue in this world, and or dealing with those that's other world, you're gonna die. He's gonna make sure that you know that you messed up. Through you, your family members, your children, your wife, your husband, somebody he gonna deal with that you chose to be closer to than him. See, the Most High name is jealous. I don't think people realize when it talks about fear, when he say fear me, fear the Most High, I don't think they realize who he really is. A lot of people, y'all still got some kind of mentality of how they program you to think that the Most High is all love. Look what he said. Let's look at him. So you see when this start to happen on this earth, who's bringing it forth? The Most High. He said in Exodus 34 and 14. Let's look at him. He said, for thou shalt worship no other God, no other power, no other idol, but the Most High, whose name is jealous. It's a jealous power. You hear that? The Most High name is jealous. It's a jealous power. So if you're more important than him, you got to think about this in your own way of how your life is more important than talking about him. So he's jealous over that because you're more important than him. Okay, it's more than just studying. That's why I say you got to learn it, live it, and apply it in your life. So you got to know all those three principles to be able to operate in your life. Because his name is jealous. He said, I'm a jealous power. His name is jealous. And your power, your idol could be yourself. If you're not satisfied with yourself, that's why I say love thy neighbor as thyself. So how you feel about yourself is how you can love somebody else. If you ain't satisfied with yourself, somebody got to always exalt you up. But for you to be exalted, then you don't love yourself. You should. I love myself so I can love someone else. Start with self. You see, and then when you deal with self, and it's all about self, what the Most High fit into that? I didn't hear him in that. I just heard him in us, me, you, I, me. That make him jealous. But y'all don't fear him. You're looking at where I fit into I. When you're talking about yourself all the time, you need some kind of confidence. Somebody got to build your confidence or you just talk about yourself, self. All you got to do is listen. Wisdom Solid 1 and 10. For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurings is not here. So y'all want to murmur and say whatever you want to say? Consider what I'm bringing forth. Most High hear it. It's been written in the books too. Trust me. Most High long suffering, but that long suffering is being let up. That mercy and grace is being cut off. And he's doing things to get your attention, a lot of people's attention, and they just like, okay, well, like I say all the time, Most High brought this, everybody going off. You know, George Floyd happened, everybody say, okay, they'll go right back to normal, go back right back to sleep, and doing the things that the world have them doing. You Israelites too, call yourself Israelites, all you ain't no Israelites. You still Gentiles. For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurings is not here. Therefore beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting. But there is no word so secret that shall go for naught. There is nothing you can say that's going to go for nothing. And the mouth that bellieth slayeth the soul. Hear that? The mouth that bellieth slayeth the soul. What you going to do when he come for you? Ecclesiastes 23 and 19. Because a lot of you just, this fits you perfect because just what you think, just the way you think. Such a man only fear the eyes of men. Or a woman. Only fear the eyes of another woman or man. They're afraid of how somebody gonna look at them when you are who you are. In a spirit that a lot of people don't realize that you have a spirit that vibrates out from you to these spirits that's in other people. The result is how your spirit counteracts with their spirit, and you have the angels around you, hopefully, to be able to make this be peaceful. But your spirit that you're afraid, such a man only feareth the eyes of men. You always got to look at how somebody looking at you. How's somebody going to look at me? You know, you always got to be exalted. You ain't got to exalt. I don't need to be exalted to be able to do what I'm doing here. The word of, if you in the word of the Most High, you should be able to bring this anytime. Anytime. And feel great about doing it. Because the word is healing. But if you don't, you deal with all these things, you concerned about somebody else looking at you. I got to make sure I look this way because somebody looking at me. And how they going to look at you? I ain't going to put no fringe, they going to know I'm an Israelite. That look funny style. I remember brother saying that, next thing you know, he's in a garment. You know what I mean? Looking at us for the first time, whatever. They call us, what, Power Rangers and all that stuff. Got all kind of names they mock us with. But the Most High said, put the fringes on the ribbon of blue and look on the fringes to remember the commandments. It's spiritual, though. Because what is, you got fringes on, what's that going to do? I mean, you look at them, they're not doing anything physically themselves. It's just the fact of it's a spiritual thing. But if you're not spiritual enough to realize that's what he's saying, then you won't understand that. But such a man only feared the eyes of men. Look at how somebody looking at me. How they going to look at me. By me being different than the world. And not eating shrimp, crab, lobster, and catfish, and hog maws. And I was in the store, I seen some hog skin. It was big, but it was huge. I never seen nothing like that. It was huge. Hog skin of the pig, like this big. Bigger than I could even put on the screen. It was that big. All people gonna be grabbing them, eating them. Just like during the time of their Easter, they got that honey glazed ham. And these holidays, you know, eating that pork. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High, whose name is jealous, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. So you think you're doing something, the Most High don't see you, he see everything. He ain't missing nothing. Trust me in this. So that's why we gotta look at, hey, who's more important? Who's more important? Because you can't say you love him, and how you prove that when you mainly about yourself? Your conversation mainly about yourself. That's why it's very important that we come out of this way of thinking so that when the destruction comes down, we have an opportunity to not be a part of the destruction. Look at, go to Ezra, ask the question in 2 Ezra 6 and 7. He said, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Like the times that we living in now? This the time of the end of this world that we in now. What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of this first, the world that we in now, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, right? Because they were fighting in the womb. When you read Genesis 25th chapter, the 19th verse down, Esau and Jacob, twins, were fighting in the womb. For Esau is the end of the world. So that means Esau would have to be the superpower of the earth at the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob represents the 12 tribes of Israel. Only 1/3 we just read. You see? That the Most High bring it through the fire, which the fire is the law. When you read Jeremiah 23:29, it's not my word like as unto fire, and as a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. So it's twofold. He gonna bring the 1/3 through the fire that he's bringing on this earth too. Remember, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that follower. We got next forever and ever and ever. That's what this is all about. To be a part of the redeemed, the ransom, the chosen, the remnant, the elect, the election, sanctified, the glorified, the purified, the few, the all, which is a certain number, the many, which is 1/3, all 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, and a remnant of all other nations that's going to be able to be ruled over, because they don't want to be ruled over. They don't want to rule over. You're going to kill them. Isaiah 60:12 says that. They should the kingdom that would not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, they shall be utterly wasted. So all the answers is here from the past, the present, and the future. It's just a matter of, what do you accept? Is it more about you? Because a lot of you don't realize that you are your own Most High. In your own worlds, you're dealing with what you're dealing with, but you only know how someone is through their conversation. All of us, we have to change. This is about changing. And changing for the betterment of yourself first and foremost, and us as a nation. The whole world should be hearing this, learning this, because they don't know. You ain't learning this in no religion. Or you will respond to me that your religion is keeping the moral, civil, dietary laws, ceremonial laws that the Most High wrote with his finger. Since y'all say y'all believe in him, how you following him and not really respecting what he done? Now, I'm looking at Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, what Zondervan wrote concerning Edom, and we're going to get off into this. It says, Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34:5 and 6, and Isaiah 63:1. I'm going to read down from that. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites, who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. So, in class, I showed you about almost 2 hours of footage of the end times. Now, Esau don't know. Remember, he's not going to ever know the way of the Most High. As for the way of the Most High, we have not known. It tells us that in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. So Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob begins that follow it. So they gave us Isaiah the 34th chapter. This is what they gave us to look at. But see, that's not for us. We as Israelites, that's for those that are of their persuasion. They wouldn't think that we would be able to come up with this understanding. Just a moment.